Alright, I'm going to try to keep this video well under 5 minutes. Again, I'm watching one of my favorite guys on YouTube, Ben Crow. By the way, I did order some of his tools, they're on the way. That's awesome. Anyway, not what this video is about. But he's having a look at a Chibson. He calls them Chibsons, I call them Fibsons. I prefer the more politically correct version of that, so I call them Fibsons. Anyway, so it's occurred to me while I'm watching this that, yep, I've done this. Like, I've absolutely, for my own purposes, for guitars that I'm keeping, put a fake logo, right? You all know that I've done this. And it started out as an experiment for the more expensive guitar, but honestly, just kind of like the look now, and I've done it to a few more, and this was the first one that I did it to, this little Mini. This is what got me into so much trouble with people. So, this is my daughter's little Squire Mini, and this was the first one that I tested it on. And I'll tell you what, that looks bitchin' from about a foot away. Alright, so this is my newest guitar. And I saw this baby online and saw that sunburst finish and that grain and just thought, wow, that is sexy. I gotta have that guitar. So it's a Squire, and it's got a lovely dark neck. But look what I've done to it. Yeah. You know what? I just like the look of that better. So now I'm doing that for myself. Now I'm gonna leave that, because that's a keeper. That's a guitar I'm gonna keep. You have to pry that one out of my cold dead hands. So it's not getting sold. This one over here. That was also one of the first ones that I did. You know what? I just like the way it looks, so I'm not ripping that off. Right? Ooh, yeah. That's also a sexy little bit that I did to that guitar. But more on that later. Anyway, so that's the real deal right there. I have been asked if this is a fake. No, this is not a fake. This is not a Squire. This is the real deal. That's a made in Mexico 60th anniversary Jubilee Diamond Edition Strat. All I've done is change the electronics and pickguard out of it. The original electronics, right over there. So that there's a Squire. I have no intention of changing a thing about that. I like the way that looks. Not at all. But this for me, a car guy, this irritates me. This whole guitars being like a mythical creature that are laid on sacred ground is absolutely insane to me. People have been doing this shit with cars for ages, for years and years and years and years. Look at all the cars that have been copied and ripped off or faked. Like cars that Carroll Shelby made. I mean, some of those fakes have been made so well that he has gone himself personally, Carroll Shelby, and signed the dashboards of some of these fakes. Nobody gives a shit in the car community about kit cars or slapping a badge on a car that doesn't belong there or any of that kind of stuff. People do that in the car community all the time. Why is this such a big deal to anybody? Really, why is this, doing this to your own guitar, such a big deal to some people? I don't get it. You know what? I'm going to keep doing this to my own Squires. The ones that I'm keeping, I get that people got their nose bent at a joint over these being sold as real Fenders, but I'm not doing that. And I'm not going to sell these to anyone or in any way that allows somebody to rip someone off. I get that that's a concern, but come on. Is this really some sort of mythical creature that I can't do whatever the hell I personally want to my own guitars at home? Really? I don't get it. I really don't get it. But that's pretty much rant over. You're going to see a lot more of this kind of stuff. Because I'm into aesthetics, and half of why a guitar is cool to me is the way it looks. And personally, I really do just like that. Now that I'm able to do this, I really do just personally like the look of that logo better than the Squire one. It's not that I care if people know that that's a Squire. I don't give a shit. I got plenty of ones that have a Squire headstock and logo that I have no intention of changing. None at all. Okay? And I have done a couple with a Squire logo, like this one that I'm trying to put together. And honestly, that's just not as cool looking as the Fender one. It just, to me, now that I've done a bunch of these, and it's like, well, what am I going to put on my own guitar? What am I going to put on a guitar that's mine, that I'm going to keep, that I have no intention of selling or trading or doing anything with, other than keeping and playing? Well, it's my guitar, so I'm going to do whatever the hell I want to it. And much like people do in the car community all the time, everybody wants the more expensive one. Come on, let's not bullshit each other. Everybody wants the more expensive brand name. Even I do. Okay? So if I can do it for less than a nickel, and it's for fun, and it looks bitchin' and awesome and totally legit, why wouldn't I? I mean, really, why? Also, here's a little treat for something I'm actually working on. I'm in the middle of filming this video. I sat down to take a break. I was watching Ben's video and it kind of gave me that idea. I've been thinking about that for a long time, but anyway, this is what I'm actually working on. This is going to be bitchin'. This is awesome. I'm halfway through this video.